Welcome, have a good night. Welcome to Alien Avatar, the second game session of this Mage The Ascension Chronicle, based in the Manifesto, the Rogue Council, a chronicle settled in Berlin that we have we have four main characters of the traditions fighting for the freedom of humanity against the technocracy. In the last game session, they uncover the some remains of a Nazi experiments in a world newsreel, and they begin the researching of that topic. They still doesn't know why they have been chosen and what all that mystery has in common with them. So in the end of the last game session, we meet our characters running, flying the house of Mr. Hoffman, an old school romantic follower that didn't feel very sympathetic for the traditionalist characters. So he ended throwing away the cabal from his house, and they dissolved and spend the next night in the houses. So we're going to start with Jack. Jack,
Okay.
are you there? Yes.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. Jack casted a spell, and with her runes, with her connection with love magic, with the earth, with the Morrigan goddess, and this night in dreams he walks in the ice. Jack is walking in a blizzard, dreaming, being shattered, being hurted by the winter around him. He feels cold. He feels the coldness in everything, like a white shroud in the environment, in the world. He is in the north. The stars in the sky are very different from the stars of Germany or England from he comes from. So what is this? A prophetic dream? An intuition? Who remembers the stones, the rooms, lagoons, water, intuition, and Isa, eyes, coldness, enemies, obstacles, and what he feels about being in the cold, in that strange place in dreams. He's alone. He even
He
the
as he stands in the dream type thing, he basically starts to like fly in his dream, like because he knows that he's in the dream.
Mhm.
He
Okay.
flies, and he starts to fly, and like he starts playing with the weather, making it warm and not feeling the cold anymore,
You
and like and try to
you
like basically manipulate his mind to feel differently, type thing. But he accepts, he accepts the omens that he saw, and after clearing his mind of this coldness and this darkness, and he wakes himself up from his sleep, and he looks around in the room, and he sort of gets up, and he'll open up his book of shadows, and he will write down his experience of his visions that he had in his little grimoire of shadow, grimoire. After he's
Okay.
written down, after he's written down his experience of his dream, he cuts, he pricks his finger to make it bleed, and rubs the blood on around his finger, and then pushes his finger into the page, leaving a sort of fingerprint. And then he will say some incantation, he will say some magic words to whoever reads this book shall be cursed and be cursed by be cursed by Morgana herself, and death will reek for their soul, and rip out their eyes, and burn their flesh, and they shall melt if they ever read his book. And basically, oh yes, I believe in those superstitions, but yes, he will definitely put a curse on his book. So only his eyes can read such paragraphs. And then after he does his little inculcation on the book, he closes it and puts it in his bag, and he's ready for the next day.
So after writing your dreams in the book, in your book of shadows, you feel a little more comfortable. You
Mm.
feel more warm, more root to the present.
Mhm.
What may means that dream? Is a prophetic omen? It could have some dream meaning, some symbolism you still don't know, but
No,
you will know maybe in the next weeks.
indeed, indeed. And he'll go for breakfast. Have breakfast.
Mhm.
He doesn't. I'm not sure if the other two mages have got his contacts or got his number, or anything like that. But he basically will make his way to see his lady friend, the lady friend mage, to go see her and see how she is doing. So he'll give her a call and see how her morning has been going so far. So he'll give her a ring.
You give the ring to your girlfriend or
No.
your
Basically, I'm ringing up. What's Mariana. I'll give Mariana a ring because she's
okay.
part of our chantry. So if she's got my contact, or we shared contacts with each other,
Yeah, yeah.
basically.
You 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 know you can gather with your cabal in the Berghain nightclub after the work of the job hours
Hmm.
because Mirna still has to work and Lucas has to study.
Hmm.
You can gather with your friends there. It's a wish. So I guess you spend the day maybe preparing yourself. Uh,
Okay, so actually, if everyone's busy, then he will go and see his he'll go and see his contact or basically his supernatural contact. And he'll go and see a lady with silver hair who is very regal and very posh and very upper class. Who is his supernatural friend? And you're probably wondering who his supernatural friend is. She is a silver fang.
A silver fang?
Yes, a silver fang. Yeah.
Okay, so let's roll that scene after some other characters' appearances.
Mm-hmm.
Wait some minutes. After that introduction, we will go with Myrna. Myrna spent the night with an uneasy dream. You still remember the marks on the tattoos in the skin of the test subjects in the video, in the reels. Some of these marks are somehow similar to yours. You feel the mysterious meaning that lies in them, and you think that may be some way somehow associated with you. You don't know what is their meaning, but maybe you could spend some time after your work researching this subject in your library or with your contacts. So next day, when you wake up, having spent the night barely sleeping, you feel very tired, but you have to work. So what do you do? How does Myrna feel?
So basically, well, looking like a mess, but nothing that the university hasn't seen before. She fills one of these portable mugs with lots of coffee. Gives a half-assed class, like guys don't interrupt. She just talks and talks. And if somebody has a question, leave it for the end of the class. And at the end of the class, no, sorry, just another day. If you want something, just sign up for a tutor, whatever. And as soon as she's done with the class, I was like, today everybody can tell that she doesn't care. I go down to the basement where I have my library, all my experimentaria. The first thing I do is I clean one of my whiteboards and I try to reproduce as best as I can all the symbols that I remember from the videotape.
Okay. You still have the newsreel, the video, so you can reproduce it anytime you want. As long
okay.
as
So basically, I hold it against the light, photogram by photogram, and I try to copy them because that's easier than checking every photogram.
Okay, perfect. So you start researching, investigating this newsreel. You get enthralled by the face of that criminal, of that war criminal called Elois Richter, that is experimented with so many corpses, so many tattooed corpses lying in hospital beds, lying in some kind of laboratory. And do you feel some reminiscence? Do you know? Do you still don't know where have you seen it? But do you feel that it's connected to you, to your dreams, to your old ones, the people that awake you, the people that whisper you, these aliens, these demons, maybe the kind of demons that Hoffman talked to you once, demons like Coppelius.
I'm gonna spend the rest of my day investigating my books, but not only investigating the symbols itself. Also, the fact is like, well, being a German-born and raised person, seeing this kind of images, Holocaust images, makes me feel a certain way because, of course, it's something that you get very ingrained in your education. So I'm trying to keep myself a little bit away from the historic part and trying to focus more on what I'm investigating because I feel a bit flustered with all this emotional turmoil. But I start also to investigate not only the symbols, but maybe some ritual that I could perform to call forth a spirit alien and try to communicate with them and try to get some answers.
Okay, we are going to roll intelligence plus occultism for you,
Okay.
and that will represent the whole day spent researching this subject. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
So intelligence plus occult or
yeah, occultism. Or if you wish, you can use research. You will.
yeah.
Yeah, research.
Yeah, I'm gonna use research. It's gonna be better. 6. Okay.
6 dice.
Mm. Yeah. All of that. No. 10 and 9.
Okay. Well, you have achieved 2 successes. I'm going to tell you after
Okay.
what happened with you. So, Lucas, I think that may spend his day studying, preparing his classes, going to going doing his.
Yeah, I'll describe my day. Just as you said, I'll spend the morning at the university. Maybe I see Mirna with baggy eyes, like walking around. And the afternoon, I spend it on my parents' cafe, just working for a few hours, waiting until we get a call or we like call each other to give ourselves the news.
Yesterday, you attend you attend to the cemetery. You are still mourning the loss of a friend, of a comrade of your cabal, and suddenly all this shit, all this shit hits you in your face, and you may feel surrounded for so many problems, so many information that how do you manage to process all these new problems you have to deal with?
So I haven't processed it yet because I still don't believe that it is much of my problem yet. As I said in the last session, like if push comes to shove and we have to help and we have to do something, then probably I will actually come to terms with it. But right now, I just, like you said, it's too much information. I still don't know what the correct course of action will be. I don't think we're even sure whether to inform some a superior of ours, like a more powerful mage, or to contact other cabals in Berlin to help us out. So I think it's still too soon to for my life to come crashing down. But still, yeah, I think that's, I mean, everything related to the Third Reich is taboo in Germany. So knowing about secret experiments and mages intertwined in all this stuff, it's pretty heavy stuff. So yeah, I spent like it took me a while to sleep last night, thinking about it. But like so far, I think I'm doing okay, sort of.
Okay. Next day, when you go to the university, you attend to your classes. You find your teacher, your visual arts teacher, more than satisfied with your presence in her class. So you can still feel like a boy, like a young teenager in a world that is more bigger than you can handle. And that's your day until the night, until the evening, where you will meet with your cabal. And finally, Thanos. How do you spend your last night? How do you feel about the loss, the mourning of your comrade of Frederick Lang, and that wave of information that threats with burying you?
Thanos is trying to reach to a balance between his mind and his body, and he likes to train the body in his own room because he lives in a guest house, and he lifts weights and things like that to train his body. And after that, he likes to meditate and to train his mind.
So he gives the day meditating, connecting with her energies. How does the information makes you feel about?
Well, the main point to Thanos is the topic that Hoffman said about the euthanatos, the things that they did in the past in the Second World War. Thanos looks like nothing matters to him, but it's not true. He's worried about these things. He's worried about some colleagues that has crossed the line, and they are trying to, or they were trying to force the will.
So Hoffman blamed the euthanatos the last day. So do you feel worried about, and do you feel maybe some euthanatos in the city could know something about what?
Yes, this is a possibility that I want to say to you. If I could go to visit, I think that his name is Natalia, right?
Yeah, Karamazov. Natalia
Exactly.
Karamazov. So you can arrange a meeting with her if you wish this night in the Bergen nightclub.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
You can contact with her, and maybe with a bit of luck, you can gather together with Natalia.
Yeah, I think that we know about her. We know the information that you have posted in the forum, right?
Yeah, you maybe not all the information that I posted, most of them.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. You know that she was an assassin, a murderer for the Technocracy before being redeemed by the euthanatos. Okay?
Yeah, okay. Enough.
So finally, the last scene before gathering the characters in the nightclub is Jack with his Silver Fangs contact girlfriend.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Her name is Daniela.
Daniela. Okay.
Yeah.
So Daniela used to spend some time in the new home cabal with new Hoffman Verbena that are settled in the outside areas around Berlin in the Brandenburg Circle. So do you have to go outside the city to meet her? There.
No, well, basically, the way I meet her or the way we contact each other is basically I will go to the actual like to a spot, like a sort of like a manor, like a very nice like manor house, like a very nice posh manor house, but outside basically.
Okay.
And we meet on like this, like we meet on the corner of this like of this estate, very upper
Okay.
class, very rich aristocrat place, type thing. Because Silverfang's been royal and noble, and the reason why I chose a Silverfang is because, like, in England, where my character is from, basically the Silverfang are the actual people in charge of London. They actually govern or run London. Basically, they are like they are known. The actual tribe in or the house known in London is basically the aristocrat howlers. That's a bit of a mouthful, but basically I won't go into the lore too much about them, but basically they are allies with the Fianna in Scotland, and also allies with the children of Gaia. Now, I don't know how much you know about England, but in England we have.
I know the werewolf lore and the British Island.
Basically, if you look at the royal symbol, the royal crest of England, basically we have a lion and a unicorn. Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever seen it, but we have a lion who represents England and the unicorn that represents Scotland. And basically, the lion is the lion totem of the Silverfangs, and the unicorn is basically the children of Gaia of Scotland, and also the allies of Fianna. So basically, I'm meeting this Garu. She's a Garu. She's she's probably a lupus, because lupus are more spiritual, connected to spiritual things and very into magic and so forth. So she'll probably be a lupus, which is very spiritual, connected with things. So yeah, I'll visit her and see how she's doing.
Well, so I will suppose that she is your mentor in your character sheet, okay? For role playing onwards. So so she is in her manor in the outside in the Brandenburg area. You enter the old house with all kind of aristocratic furniture. There is something strange in the way things are disposed in the space, because you say she is lupus, so she doesn't really spend too much time as a human. After looking for her in the house, you discover she is not in. She is in the woods near Berlin. She is in the nature where she belongs. You walk to the forest. You walk to the woods near the old manor, and finally, some hours looking for her, your raven, your crow fly onwards, forwards, a white wolf eating right. The wolf look at you. you feel that she is Daniela. You feel that she is your friend, your partner, your mentor, but you feel also her angry.
Mm.
He's anger. He has anger. He needs to
Right.
eat, and you
But it's very rare for a Fierge to be angry, which is true.
yeah.
I mean, they're not very. I mean, a Fierge, because she is a Fierge, they don't really have much rage. I mean, they basically have like 2 dots of rage. A Fierge, from my understanding, they're very calm.
I don't know if I pronouncing correctly. Hungry. He
Hungry. She's hungry. Okay.
he's he's eating, and you're right when she was tearing apart this little rabbit. She changes his form, shifting to a human again, with blood covering his mouth,
Okay.
and his face.
Ah, hello,
Welcome,
Daniela.
welcome.
Ah, hello, Daniela. It's good to see you again, my sweet.
It's nice to see you too. I have been hunting. It's sorry, but nowadays I spend more time than I used to finding something to eat.
Yes, I understand. I understand. It's good to see you though. You're looking well. It feels so long since I have seen you. And he actually goes up to her and gives her like a brace cuddle.
She embraces you, and after that she says, "Wow, what do you smell for? What you are smelling? Is it? Is it? I don't know. Where have you been?"
One, I've been to a very sad and tragic funeral. Basically, one of our kind, the mages that you know about, because I did tell you that I'm a mage, basically has died, and we was all, and basically myself and the rest of the mages, he sort of does air quotes, were there, and we watched a very disturbing video, which was quite shocking at least. And then I try, and then basically we were looking into this like strange death of this mage, but to see exactly what's going on. But also, I found more information about my tradition, which is the banger. Basically, we used to summon demons and do awful things in the past. It seems this is most upsetting, especially for me, because I'm a person who does not do dark magic or that sort of thing. I'm a modern age druid who believes in, like the herbs and plants that you can use in the wild for medicinal, for like medicinal purposes, like like this plant, you can use it for paracetamol or something like that. Very very connected with Gaia, as you call it. I think that's what you call it, correct?
As you talk, your raven begins to pick some eyes from the rabbit. It's starting to steal the food of your girlfriend's prey. but she doesn't matter. She lets your raven it's eating her prey, and she says, "Oh, I see you. I see what you are telling me. I think that I understand. Back in the old days, some werewolves fight with the demons too. They give the back to the Garu nation, and they join the Nazis. We used to call them the Ghetto of Hungary, but they are not important anymore in our country. So I think that you don't need to be worried about that. Time will put everything in her place. So come on, come with me, and
Okay.
we will bring some tea and eat something in our.
Fine. And now he'll say to her, "Fine, we'll go back for some tea, and I might treat you to a nice belly rub and a nice scratch behind the ears as a nice little treat." He chuckles.
Okay. In the end, she doesn't know anything of this cabal, of these experiments. That she doesn't know anything concrete, but she knows that kind of traitors, of betrayers, were also present in the Garu, in the werewolf. So do you spend the whole afternoon with her, and then I guess you you go to the city, you return to Gator with your cabal.
Yeah, basically, I'll spend an evening like
Okay.
listening to her stories and what she has to say, and also I'll treat her to a bit of TLC, as we call it in England, tending loving care, like a little snuggle. I'll give her a little snuggle, fade to black sort of stuff, like a belly rub, and so forth. But yeah, I'll treat her to, basically I treat her to a good time, as a gentleman does, and yeah, and like I'll give her a kiss goodbye and a hug, and I'll go back and I'll say, "Do not worry, my love. I shall come back soon, and I shall return with more information of what I have found out."
When you return to Berlin, to the city, you feel that you are entering a whole new world. It's like there are separate worlds. Being in the Brandenburg outside, and being in the city, in one of the biggest, most poorest cities of the continent of Europe. When you arrive, the nightclub, the Bergen nightclub, you feel you are entering a dark place, old factory, an old power plant that now, like a cathedral to the industry, to the new 21st century world, seems like more like a technocratic meeting point that nature and harmonic place from you were coming from. So there are the rest of the cabal. There are Thanos, Lucas, Miller, and Mirna. They are also in the Bergen nightclub. You have joined the crew, the crowd that used to dance in the all floor where DJs, where musicians play very loudly music all nights, all days. But from since the pandemics, this is different. Place is empty. You feel like your echoes of your walks in the colossal huge walls of the power plant. There is nobody there. Only you. Only the four mages gather. How do you feel? What are you doing when Jax come back?
So as he looks around in this nightclub, he feels a bit uncomfortable in this nightclub a bit because, you know, he doesn't really like all this modern age sort of stuff. He finds it a bit slightly uncomfortable because he's a Verbaner and whatnot. So he feels a bit out of place, being a druid and into sort of Wicca and things like that. So he feels a bit out of place here, but he basically he'll go to the bar and basically just order a soda. He won't order an alcohol or anything like that. Basically, he will order like a Pepsi or like something.
You order a drink. Meanwhile, Thanos and Lucas and Mirna are gathered in the power plant in the nightclub Berghain. What you are doing when Jax enters the club?
First of all, are we wearing masks?
Are you wearing? Yeah, it's not necessary in Germany, I think.
Okay, fine. So I try to maintain a distance between my colleagues and I smoke a cigarette.
Okay. What do you feel about the aura, the meaning of this abandoned power plant? What this place transmits to you?
Well, maybe in the past this was a holy place, but now it's clear that it isn't. So I don't really like a lot to go to discos, to go to dance. Thanos is not a very fun guy, but anyways, he has to do a job, and if this is to be done in this place, it is as it is.
Okay. Mirna, entering the club, he sees a phrase in all the wall of the door that says, "Morgen is thy Frage." Tomorrow is the question. Is the motto of the club. And when she enters, she finds Thanos and Jack ordering some drinks and waiting her. What she feels, what she thinks about this industrial place in the heart of Berlin.
Before that, I had the
yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah,
okay, just before we have to start jumping around.
Yeah, excuse me. You have discovered that in your papers, in your books, there is something well documented called the Bebelsberg Tribunal. Okay, that this is like some common knowledge in most of the countries. What do you discover with your time spent researching is that the Thule Society. The Thule Society is a cabal of Nazi mages of the Verbena mostly, perform occult experiments at Dachau. And in Dachau, there was a node, a fountain, a power place, sacred place for mages that produces quintessence. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Okay, so so you discover that after the war, they judged the Tool Society, and they destroy the node, and the investigation the Nazis did back in the 40s. The documents, the papers, were known as the Black Papers, Sparsenkunde. But that's all. That's all you can find in your books, in your library. You feel that this theme, this topic, is very delicate for most of the mages in Germany, and probably there are few people prepared to talk about what happened back in the 40s.
Okay.
And so, what do you feel when you have this information in your mind, entering the nightclub and meeting with your cabal, with your friends?
I'm incredibly overwhelmed because it's on the one side it's certainly a very sensitive topic, but also the personal connection that I'm feeling with this is making me feel actual dread, because I don't want to see myself in a situation where it seems like all my life decisions are taking me to this, and my own magic or the way how I understand reality is linked to something that is so atrocious, historically speaking. So when Myrna arrives, she's clearly on edge. She looks like, well, she hasn't had a good night of sleep, but like she looks like she's going through it. So whiter than before, and definitely looking like she has been through a war with herself. And going into this place, there's something about it that she feels comfort in regards of this, because it reminds her of her time when she was with the occupational movement, occupying houses and basically living the kind of illegal life. So that's comforting. But I would like to know, can I feel if the veil is thin in this area?
Excuse me, can you feel?
Is the veil thinner? Sorry, is the veil like thinner in this area?
Do you mean some supernatural veil in the
Yes.
area? Yeah, I think that this area has some strange meaning for you, at least now, because this area used to be a industry ore plant. So the spirits in the area are spirits of making cogs, of steel, of brass, of metal. But then, back in the 90s, this place, with the revolution, with the cultural revolution of Germany, of Berlin, turned in a vibrant place, in a nightclub, in an area where people can meet, where can unchain, unbound their passions. This place has a legacy in his veins, but also in spite of all I have tell you, now it's empty. There's nobody. Nightclub without dancers. You feel this place hollow as your soul, hollow as a hollow-on sanctuary. It's like it has no meaning yet in the new times after the pandemic. You feel this area has a strange resonance for you, for what I say. And finally, Lucas, what do you do when you enter the Berghain nightclub? What do you say to your
So there's one thing that I wanted to ask: is it the club like open to the public, but there's just no one there because of the pandemic, or like are we?
It's closed. It's closed.
Oh, okay. So are we allowed in because like this is actually a cabal? This is where the cabal meets, or are we?
You have contacts in the club. This place is a node for a cult of ecstasy cabal.
Okay. So the bar. Okay, so the bar is open then. Is the bar open?
Yeah. It could be. Yeah, it could be open. Yeah.
Okay, so then I get close to Jack. I say hi to him. I also order a drink. I order a beer, and then I meet with Thanos and Myrna, and I do a nod with the head to acknowledge that I see them, and then I meet with them with all four of us.
Okay.
And say, well, good night to everyone.
Yeah, Jack will sort of say, it's good to see you, my fellow friend of the arts. He smiles.
Yeah, so to you, Jack. It's nice to see you. And then I raise my drink to to make a little toast to you with your Pepsi and my beer.
I'm not much of a person who drinks the alcohol beverage. I rather keep my my mind steady and sharp. You never know when things are going to hit the fan, as they sort of say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always good to keep your wits about you. So I apologize for not heavily drinking with you tonight. But here's a toast to you and to your health and your future.
Yeah. Well, to the future of all of us, I hope. And then I take a huge glug of beer, and then I say, "Hey Jack, let's join the other two. Let's see how they're doing."
Sure, no problem.
Okay. When you
tell
me.
He says, I just don't like this nightclub. It feels a bit uneven. I wish we was out in the wilderness and with nature. I just
Yeah, it feels a bit ominous, isn't it? Like so big, so dark, full of concrete. It's a bit odd for a nightclub. A bit of an odd place for a nightclub.
When you gather together the whole cabal, you are still trying to process the whole thing that happened the day before, the funeral, the cemetery, the newsreel, the Hoffman episode, and then appearing from the darkness, like a shadow, a woman dressed in black begins to approach to you, to the cabal. She must be Natalia. What do you do?
Yeah, I have booked or I have arranged a meeting with Sam Korik. Her name is Natalia. I don't know if you meet her. Maybe she can or she could help us to understand something of all this mess.
Okay, when she arrives, he has the hair cut very short as a garçon style. She dresses with very comfortable clothes, and there is a pendant in his neck with a silver pendant with the form of an omega, the last letter of the Greek alphabet. She looks the cabal. She smiles and says, "Well, nice to meet you, Thanos." Mirna?
Yeah. Okay. Let me. Maybe you don't know Jack or Lucas.
No, I don't have the pleasure. Nice to meet you, Jack. Yeah. Well, she's a little shy, I think. And you must be the young Lucas.
Exactly. Really pleased to meet you, Natalia. I understand that you're a fellow member of Euthanatos, just like Thanos, right?
Yeah, I am. You, she talks very. She looks like a very professional, very straight person. She doesn't really looks comfortable with all this kind of presentations. So she says like something like, "Well, study to the problem. What do you need, Thanos?"
Okay, perfect. You know that I'm not a very bright person too. Yes, we have to go straight forward to the topic. I know that it's dedicated to talk about this, but what is the current status of your memory?
Uh, what do you mean? That's very upsetting, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you for facts that they passed in the World War II or something like that.
Well, I'm not at all Thanos. I don't have 80 years old, but I fought during the Cold War. If you need to ask something about, but let's
Okay,
let,
yes. Mhm.
let's
I
go
hope
to
so because yeah, there are facts that uh, they pass between the Second World War and the Cold War, and maybe yeah, you can help us with this, with some names, some yeah facts. I think.
well. Let's go to a more discreet place. Maybe can you follow me to the second floor? There is a small office where we can talk with discretion.
Yeah, of course.
Well, so you follow your friend, your colleague, your tradition partner. The four characters enter an office where the owners of the node used to play some rituals. There are some chalk in the floor, some candles, and Natalia takes a seat behind the door and says, "Well, the Cold War is the Cold War were the worst years of my life. I barely remember anything, but I will help you in what I can. What do you need concretely to know?"
Yeah, I want to know if you have information about something named Situation 6?
He looks at you. She looks at you. She looks to Myrna, to Lucas, to Jax. Well, I think that is like some kind of legend in some places, like heroes of the war. A cabal of mages that fought in the Spanish Civil War, and after with the resistance in France, they fought the Nazis. And the strange thing about this cabal is that it was composed of technocracy and traditionalists too. They were a mixed cabal. I think that today could seem very strange, but back in the 40s, there was no other option but band together against the Nazis.
And what about the mages that are involved in this cabal? Where are they?
Well, I think that most of them die. I don't know. I know that Technocracy hunted the
Sorry.
members, the Technocracy members of the
My
cabal.
connection just dropped. Sorry about that. My connection just dropped. Did I miss? Did anyone
No,
talk
don't
to
worry.
me? Or if you're not, okay, cool.
No, don't worry. We are talking with Natalia Karamazov, the Euthanatos, the Euthanatos informer of Thanos, as a spy in the Cold War, and he asked about what happened back in the Second World War, and she's explaining that Situation 6 was a mixed cabal of technocracy and traditions that fought in the Spanish Civil War, and then fought the Nazis in France with the aid of the technocracy. What do you feel? What do you about this delicate subject of collaboration with technocracy?
Well, this is not like the technocracy to actually work with anyone. I mean, from my understanding of the technocracy, they like to take things from themselves. They just want to take and take and take and make sure that people are unaware of the supernatural things in this world, or want to stop mages from ever awakening, or still technology that we come up with, or spells, or things of that nature, from my understanding. So to see the actual technocracy actually working with someone is very, very rare to see.
Okay. She keeps talking, and she says, Situation 6 says to the cabal, to you, to all of you, say, hunted Nefandi in the ruins of the Reichstag. And then they clean the Dachau node of the concentration camp. Most of the members of the cabal have disappeared from them. Jane Powell, an hermetic mage, died in Dachau. And we think that technocracy hunted the technocratic members of trying to cover, to make their own members forgot all this kind of collaboration with the traditions. So I think that the most important member you might have been looking for is Dr. Mondial, maybe, Dr.
Right.
Thanos?
Yes, of course. I think that they lost him in Baston. This is the
Uh,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Or,
yeah. It's strange because he didn't appear with the rest of the Cabal more often. He was like a lunar, like a solitary. It was a strange kind of etherite, zone of ether. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
yeah.
So I have a question,
Yeah.
if you don't mind me asking the question.
Go ahead, Jack. Of course.
From my from sure, from my understanding, I heard stories from like my from my from well from my let's say from my mentor that or from other traditions in my circle that I've met, but those of elderly age, that the Technocracy built a massive nuclear bomb and blew up a ancient Diluvian vampire. So why would they work with anyone if they are killing the enemy of the dark world?
Well, I think that she spent some seconds thinking about,
I mean,
and
the
after,
vampire was called, from my understanding, the vampire was called Ravenos, the Ravenos vampire, an ancient Diluvian vampire that tried to escape the shadow world, from my understanding of the wraith world of shadows or something like that, from what I've been told. And basically, yeah, and the Technocracy built a massive nuclear bomb and basically, yeah, blew him up.
well, she spent some minutes thinking about, and she says, "Well, I don't know what is technocracy working in. I think that if they want, they can destroy us with nuclear weapons and something worse even. I think that we have to have care when with our allies, and in the Second World War that was a very strange movement, banding with the democracy to fighting the Nefandi. I think that maybe you can understand what happened if you see what happened after that. During the Second World War, says he, the this kind of renegades experimented in with prisoners of the concentration camp. They wrote they they experimented with Jew people, and they wrote their findings in something named the Black Papers. This is this is what Myrna found. In fact, so Myrna knows what the Black Papers talk about, and after that she says, but Black Papers were not the most important part of these experiments. They were the known, the Dachau fountain, the fountain torture named the Fulton Brunner, and that was in our custody, in our vigilance of the Euthanatoid, and we fail to protect the Foltenbrunner.
I have a question. How do I put it? So technically, all of this has happened a long time ago, but I'm wondering who or why would someone benefit of reopening this right now?
I don't know. I think that, well, the Foltenbrunner was I sorry, I feel so same about that. I can say how to express my my regret, but with the Euthanatoid left the Foltenbrunner in the hands of a traitor named Burmas of House Helgar, and he was a powerful necromancer, and he continued the experiments of the Nazis with the Dachau. No, we Euthanatoid continued the work of the Nazis, hidden the betrayal we committed. But now, maybe there must be something interested in uncovering all this mystery, all these crimes. We ended with Burmas 5 years ago. I don't know why now there is someone trying to filter all this information.
So what
Maybe
was
someone
exactly
thinks I'm not. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So maybe someone did escape of justice. Like this makes me think maybe someone who we are not really aware or did not receive the appropriate punishment, and somebody's trying to just pursue justice about this. Could this be?
It's impossible. Do you think that Technocracy hired some Nazi criminals for following their steps, their experiments?
I mean, it's a Technocracy. It's not like I have a good opinion about them.
Yeah, they could be. They could afford that kind of experiments. They have the papers. They have the black papers. The Schwarzerkunde, but they don't have the note. The Foltenbrunner. The Foltenbrunner was put in custody of the Euthanatoid. They don't have access to the power needed to create the magic that the renegades were doing back in the 40s. So I think that even if they achieve to hide some criminals, they cannot replicate those experiments. Well, the Dachau node is still in custody of the Euthanatoid. We have forgot the presence of traitors of the House Celebrat.
So I have one question, Natalia. Do you know if the experiments yielded any kind of results, or like?
Well, I don't know. What have you seen in the video, in the brief?
That's the thing. Like, not much, at least that I can remember. It was only mentioned that experiments were made, but they didn't mention like the point of the experiments, why the objective of the experiments, nor their results or what they were looking for. Like there was no mention of it. There was mention though of something called, I mean, it was called Operation Spark Maker, but that's all we have.
Sparkmaker. I haven't heard about the Sparkmaker before. I don't know what it is, but it sounds technocratic to me.
But do you know what the experiments were for? Like what was Burma's investigating exactly? Because I'm guessing because he's an euthanatos, like he had to do something with death, and it was like a concentration camp. So that's what my mind goes to. But what exactly was he looking for?
Well, but Burma was not the former, the original.
True. Lead researcher. Yeah.
He was the guardian of the node, and he failed, and he betrayed us. But we don't know what the renegades, what the verbena, what the Iron Circle or the Tool Society were looking for. We don't know what were they doing. So, well, I wish I could help you, but that's all I know about the Operation Sparkmaker and Situation 6.
Okay.
Maybe you could contact with some of the survivors of the Situation 6.
Could you give us some names about those survivors?
Yeah, as I said, Jane died in that town, and she died consumed by paradox. She was the hermetic of the cabal.
Okay.
Dr. Mondial was the raw, solitaire, lunar son of Ether.
Do you have any idea where to find Dr. Mondial?
No, I don't know. She is some kind of legend. Almost nobody has seen Dr. Mondial since the World War. And I think that the technocratic members of the cabal were almost purged. They were persecuted and eliminated by their own members. I think that probably the what was her name? I don't know. What was the name of the Neiman? That was
Jason Nightman. Yes.
Yeah, I was.
He's the one that created the reel. We believe, at least.
I think that he may be the only survivor from aside the Dr. Mondial.
And do you have any idea how to contact him?
No, I don't know. Maybe you should research her where he's hidden.
Yeah, but the only lead we have, I think, it's San Francisco. That's the last place. I mean, that's where in the reel where it meant that, it's a place that mentioned the reel. But assuming the reel was made, I don't know whether it's. I mean, the reel couldn't have been made 60 years ago because it portrayed an email, right? So it has to be. So it has to be made quite recent, and it said San Francisco in the reel. So maybe that could be your next lead.
Yeah, could be perfect. Could be. In fact, if the reel, as you say, it was sent by the Royal Council, it has to contain some strange information. Nobody really knows where the Royal Council extracts the information. I think Jax has to go.
Okay.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Do we switch to Spanish or do we continue in English?
I don't know if it makes sense to continue in English, but anyway, this is a or some kind of
Yeah,
So
we will
It's your-
continue because maybe Jack puts the video sees the video after that. So he could see the game session before. So well, she really doesn't know anymore about and she in fact seems suspicious about the process of that information, what the information comes from, and she doesn't believe that the Royal Council is behind. Because do you really think that the Royal Council have given you a newsreel from the 40s to you? Go a cabal with any apparent relationship with all that all that problems?
I honestly have no idea. My only guess is that Friedrich Lang had some relationship with all that, and
Okay.
because we were his next of kin, we were the only people that he had any relationship with. They sent the reel to us, but that's my best guess. Like I honestly don't have a better answer.
Do you know as a cabal that the Royal Council is some kind of a strange legend in the Mages? They are like fighters for freedom, fighters in a war that all Mages are giving for lost for, and they are still sending messages of hope of important details of the enemy to you, to cabals that may make an important difference between you and the destinies of the world. So, what is your opinion about the Ascension War? If this is important in the Ascension War, do you think that it works fight for this?
I think it's important to fight just to spite in a way. What I mean by that is that whether we win or lose, it's independent of whether we fight or not. If we need to fight, then we just fight. Well, we have to be separated from the outcome, I believe. If we believe our cause is just, then we do what we believe is right, and whatever happens. So
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just like following a gut feeling. I'm trusting Lang that he was doing the right thing, and so here's hoping that we are not being manipulated too much, at least.
Okay. Yeah. Look, Mina has gone. So, okay. Do you have now a lot of information from Natalia? But Natalia is a little worried about you. She asked to Thanos, "Are you sure you are going to do? What are you going to do?"
Of course, no. But I'm sure that I have to do something.
You are
What? Yeah.
you are deepening in the worst crimes of our history, of our tradition. Are you sure that it's worth to uncover all this shit, all this shame that surround us?
Yes, of course. I'm sure.
Do you think that you will endure the temptation to use this black magic that corrupted Gormas?
No, I'm sure that my destiny is not to use this black magic, as you said. But maybe it's in my hands to fix something that our colleagues broken a lot of years ago. Or maybe they are still playing with this stuff. And have to be interrupted, and we have to punish them.
I hope you really know what you are doing, because I'm not so sure about it. And Mirna, she says while she stands, it has been a pleasure to meet you.
Same. I've heard about you, and I'm very thankful for your input. I'm not a traditionalist, so for me, the approach is different. I feel this more as a personal kind of quest, but
I thought that followers don't fight the Ascension war.
no, and to be quite blunt, I don't care. But there's been some kind of personal link to me to this whole story, and if I get in the journey, that's for sure.
I hope you find the answers you are looking for, but without risking your lives. Because if you are toying with Technocracy, you are going to burn. You are going to scald you. Well, give me a minute. I come back in a minute, okay? You can
Okay.
still play and talk.
Sorry, I
Okay.
think my connection is back. I keep having issues.
Yeah. Like I think you just cut up for a minute because like you froze.
Exactly. Mhm.
Oh, okay. I was trying to have a moment, but the
Yeah.
internet wouldn't allow me.
It's been quite an eventful session. Like first Jack, now.
Yes.
I got
Nobody-
I got an Ethernet cable, but I don't know what's going on. Nobody's playing. We should be fine. Speed test.
It's not easy to fight against the Technocracy and all these ancient forces.
It's always the Nazis. Fucking Nazis.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think that now we have some more clues about how to continue. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. We have a lot of more information now.
Yeah.
Well, so now you are alone. Natalia has gone. What do you do? What do you think about what she has said to you?
We know that we are in danger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a
But
very
like
delicate
when you
topic.
we
Yeah,
kind of already knew that, right? When we received the newsreel.
exactly. Mhm.
I mean,
Nothing
the moment we decided to watch the reel and to figure out what was happening, we realized that we were entering, some kind of danger. So that's that's nothing new. I think the like, what's our next step? Like, are we going to San Francisco or like what? Because I have a work, I have like uni, I have 2 exams, due next week. Like I can't leave the city just like that.
I think that our first plan, the last session, was to travel to London.
Yeah,
But
well,
now
wait
with
on.
Yeah.
In the book says San Francisco, but I changed it to London because
Oh, okay.
I feel more climatic to the.
Okay. Well, the point stands still. Like I can't go to London. Like I have a ton, I have a ton of work. I have exams. Like I have a ton of responsibilities. I can just like live like that. So I don't know. Oops.
She will come back. So you will abandon your responsibilities and just living to London.
No, we'll have to make some preparations. I don't know about you, Mirna. Like, can you like fake like some kind of like excuse letter or something for the uni to, so to make it so I can excuse myself for a couple of weeks?
I mean,
like
I can always say it's something family related.
Yeah, you could take an excellence, for example, Mirna.
I mean, it's not like I have that many students in my class. They won't miss me as long as I don't fail with my thesis and my personal work. But I have the feeling that they will actually be kind of happy that I get to live for a couple of weeks.
They will be more happy with the surrogate, with new teacher.
Yeah, whoever substitutes me won't know a thing because I'm the only one who knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, whatever, they will be happy.
Okay, but if you go to London, where are you going? You only have a name and a city.
Yeah, like we could maybe try to scrunch up a bit more of information. We could go, for example, we could go to the local chantry. In Brandenburg, there's this cabal that I've been sometimes volunteering in, and I think we could maybe like go by and ask a couple questions. I don't think we will, we won't like. At worst, we'll be at the same place. At best, maybe we can figure out something like, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, for me, the question is if we are really ready to tackle this because we're talking something that people has died for.
Yeah.
So it's not like we are going on an adventure or whatever. Like this could be life or death potentially. If not now, maybe in a couple of years because we're going to be on somebody's blacklist.
Yeah, I don't have a better idea. Like either we ask around or we go blindly into London, but we don't have anything. So
I'm not a fan of asking around because the more people we ask, the more people knows what we are up to, and it's a lot of links. But on the other hand, like I just don't want to go to London without knowing what I'm going to do with myself once we are there.
So, is there someone that all three of us can trust aside from Jack? In the city?
I mean, I trust Hoffman, but he was not happy about it.
I can maybe ask it's not my mentor, but she's the most veteran chorist in the city. Maybe, and she's quite old, so maybe, but I don't know I don't know her past, so I don't know if she was living here during the Second World War. Maybe she knows something.
You mean Edith Trammell?
Yes.
Yes, she was in Auschwitz. She puts in the forum, so maybe she could give us more clues.
Yeah, I know she has relationships with the orphans and the hollow ones, but I didn't know she was in Auschwitz. Okay, maybe I can maybe I can ask her a couple of questions. Maybe she knows something, and I do trust her, so I know that she won't like spill the beans, or we won't get in trouble for sharing the information with her. But she's the only lead that I have.
To be honest, Berlin is compromised at this point, so I don't think it's gonna matter if we ask one more or two persons. Like at this point, we already asked two persons. I don't think another one in Berlin will be too much of an issue.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Okay, so I'll ask Edith if she knows anything. Any other ideas or any other leads?
I mean, what you guys and I call magic are very different things.
No, and the Android.
Sorry.
Excuse me. How do you say what have you say?
So I was saying, guys, like what I call magic and what you guys call magic is very different things. And I'm not the biggest fan of let's use it, but for menial things. But I mean, there's always a spirits we can talk about. They've been here longer than us.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, you of course you can talk with the spirits to ask for help. And well, maybe you don't consider him spirits, but maybe some alien or strange forms
Strange
of life.
intelligences from the outside.
Mhm.
But yeah, you can look for a place to contact with your intelligence and make a ritual if you wish. In that case, explain to me what you will do.
So I'm gonna research what entities I could call on forth for this because this is information. So I'm thinking maybe something more towards the Migo population because they are into stealing brains and experimenting with people. So I'm gonna research summoning ways. There's always a summoning portal for this kind of thing. So I'm gonna find if there's any materials required for this summoning, if there's any technology required to these people. So probably first I'm gonna try to meditate and get the answers, and after that, it's gonna be a mix of technology mixed with science and enchantments.
Okay, so you are going to do the experiment after I guess in your in your sanctum, in your house or in
Oh yeah,
your okay.
yeah,
So
it's something I'm gonna do in my basement. It requires investigation first, so I can estimate it might take me half a day just to get ready for it.
okay, okay, perfect. So after leaving the Berghain nightclub, are you going to interview or to look for Eric Kramer, or are you going to separate as a cabal and work different ways?
So what time is it? Because she's an old lady. So if
Yeah,
we're meeting up at night, I assume she's already sleeping, and I don't want to wake her up. So what time is it?
it's like 8 o'clock.
Ah, okay, it's fine. Like she hasn't taken her pills yet. I think I can give her a call.
Okay.
So yeah, if I have her number, I just ring her up.
Yeah, well, I think that maybe she doesn't use telephone. She's like
Okay.
that kind of old war tourist. Yeah, but
Then
you know where to find her.
then I think the best course of action will be to leave, to disperse, to separate, and then I'll go by myself, like the next day by myself, because she trusts me, but like maybe she hasn't met the rest, so maybe she will be a bit more wary of that. So I'd rather ask her on my own,
Okay.
if that's okay with everyone else.
Yeah, fine by me. I don't want to disrupt another old person. I've already did with Hoffman.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. So this night, are you going to do something more apart from Mirna? That she's going to research, to continue her research.
I can start to look like an Airbnb for London if we actually have to go there. I also like start making preparations in case I have to leave. Just like ask my dad like if someone can cover for me at the cafe or something like that. Stuff like that. I start to like make some preparations in case I have to leave.
Okay. Thanos?
Yeah, more or less the same. He's going to return to the guest house and he's going to prepare the budget. Yeah.
Jack, are you there? Jack, are you there? Are you mute? Silences. I think that he is not.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay. Oh yeah.
I'm here. Sorry. Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah. So Jack will basically, after listening to the conversation, what was going on about the whole technocracy and everything else, he basically
Well, hello. Jack, I don't hear you.
I think we lost him.
Yeah, again.
can you hear me?
Yeah. Now.
Oh, okay. We lost the storyteller. Oh no.
No, don't worry. Yeah. So they have talked with Natalia, former Euthanatos and Technocratic agent, and she revealed a lot of information about the Operation Situation 6 and the Second World War. And after that, they are going to go different ways. Lucas is going to talk with another chorist, a leader of her tradition, and Mirna is going to make some experiment in his Hantum, in his laboratory. But Jax,
Hi.
you have
So-
agreed.
so
Excuse
what-
me. One more thing. You have agreed to travel to London because there is the last survivor of the Situation 6 cabal, named Jason Nyman.
Okay.
So, if you have to go to London,
All right.
what will have what Jax is going to do?
Well, when he gets to London, when Jack gets
No.
to London,
Well, not yet. He's preparing
Oh.
to travel.
so what he will do to
Mhm.
London, he basically get his passport. Yeah. Hello.
Hello. I heard you.
I think the
I
signal's
think
gone.
that
Yeah, but do
Right,
you
so
you
he
currently?
gets passport? Huh?
I don't hear Jack.
Sorry.
No worry, don't worry. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Um, I think that maybe you can contact with your relative of your girlfriend relatives to prepare your travel. Maybe you can contact with Daniela's relatives to travel to London.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
maybe
I
you.
will arrange to meet up with my girlfriend to go to London to Okay, cool. I'll do that then.
And how do you prepare travel? Are you going to take a plane, or are you going to travel by car or by boat? Are you going to take a plane with a raven in your shoulder?
I would suggest
Um,
also, so we are not so traceable, the car, you know.
Yeah, I
I-
think
I
that
love-
that will be
I
a good
love-
idea. Maybe we can go a bit more low profile. You know, like paying cash, all that stuff. Just
Okay.
just in case we're not to fall like straight into the Technocracy's hands.
Do you know that London is one of the most surveilled cities in Europe or in the whole world? So there is cameras and there are eyes everywhere, anywhere you go. I think that we have lost Jack again, so we will continue. So that night, Mirna returns to her sanctum, having researched the Babelsberg Tribunal, having discovered the Situation 6 role in the war, and she's thinking about summoning some spirit to ask for information. What kind of spirit is going to summon? Is going to ask for information to something very secret. So it has to be some particular or special spirit.
So what I've been thinking is that the Yithians are especially known because they time travel. So basically, they have vision that it's rounded, like they can see at any time. They do not really care about time as much as we do. And although this entity might not know exactly about what I'm asking about, they do have the power to go back and take a peek.
Okay. And how is the ritual? What is the procedure you take?
So to contact Yithians, there's these devices around the world that are made of bronze, and they have. Well, I'm reading because I had to look for it. It's made of bronze with some engravements. They are 30 centimeters in height, and they have a red jewel. So probably I do not have all the materials, but I can try to craft something similar, and that is gonna take me some time. But I believe that being an alien entity is gonna be better the ritual to be part of crafting the machine, and therefore being able to talk with them with this machine that I can craft.
Okay. After some hours of work preparing the ritual, you achieve something similar to the. Do you think that it could work? It could work. So that night, in the emptiness of your sanctum, in your own house, you start to gather all the elements of the ritual. You use a chalk to draw a circle in the floor, and you start singing. You start the pray to the Egyptians in the lost language of the old ones that you learn when you awake for the first time. You have to roll arete for this spell, and as this is a ritual, you have to spend many hours summoning the spirit, and you have to roll several times.
Okay.
One turn, 1 hour. You have to achieve 5 successes. Okay.
Okay.
So, do you want to spend willpower or arete?
Not right now, because I don't care if I don't sleep, and it's tomorrow's problem.
Okay, so you go straight without willpower. Okay, so first hour, you begin to sing. You begin in the lost language of the old ones. Roll for first time, please.
What do I need to roll? Only at a 10?
Arete, yes.
Okay.
So you achieve 2 successes. I put the difficulty, the number in 7 because it's it's 4 plus the number of spheres required. That is spirit 3. So
Okay.
is and is non non-coincidental magic. So it's +1. So 7 is the target number. You have the first hour you achieve some successes. So the spirits, the intelligence, this kind of beings start approaching to you, and you feel the veil is thin. It's thin. So you have to roll again.
Not bad.
Okay,
Then.
okay, 2 more successes. Yeah, that's cool. The entity is beginning to take form. Is you feel like a whisper, like a voice behind your mind, but there is not a full materializing. So you still have to roll one more time.
Okay.
If you botch, if you fail, all the ritual goes down.
It doesn't fail.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay, oh, perfect. The last success. So finally, a voice, something immaterial, a shadow appears in your house, and it says, "Who have summoned me?"
I get on my knees and I do the position where you usually chant for this kind of entities. And I said, "Oh, Grandmaster Yithian, it is me, a mortal Myrna, who summons thee. Though I require of your knowledge."
What time are we in? He doesn't know in what future is in.
We are currently in the Earth year 2020, but the information that I require from you is from the past.
The past is a strange world for us. From we belong, there is no time. We can
That's why I
see.
summoned thee, because you can understand things that I was not alive when that happened, and I need your vision to guide me.
Well, what are you going to do for me, mortal?
I know your knowledge doesn't come for free, so if you give me the knowledge I seek, I will owe you a favor.
A favor. I don't want favors. I want meat and blood. Are you going to sacrifice something for me?
What sacrifice do you require for your knowledge?
Memories. I'm going to eat your memories.
Do I get to choose what memories you require from me?
No.
You still have time to go back, Myrna.
I know this trick, and he's gonna get one day of my life that is gonna make me forget. If he gets one day when I awoke, I could just no longer be a mage.
No. See, he wants other kind of memories.
Like just taking account that if he takes like certain memories, like he can try to shape you into someone more easier to manipulate. So
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
well, I shouldn't talk. Like
Yeah, no. But
No,
this is important. I accept your trade. I will give you memories in the sense of the information I require.
yes, mortal. You agree. So, what do you want to know?
In the past, during the time that was known in Europe as the World War, there was people like me in a concentration camp called Dachau. People that had their body covered with the same symbols that I have, or similar, are
Yes,
required to know why they were sacrificed and if the person who was in charge of that is still alive.
yes. They were called Anakin, Elohim, Anunnaki, creatures from beyond time and space. They were, as me, aliens, and he, Helios, or Richter, tried to pin these demons in human bodies. Richter is still alive, but he almost failed. The Anunnaki could not endure in the bodies for a long time. The demons, the aliens, are not prepared to be vessel in human flesh. But Richter is alive and he is still trying to find a way to achieve this final transformation.
Motherfucker.
And now my prize, my memories of your childhood are mine.
Take them for your service.
Your sweet memories. And the shadow approaches to you and start drinking your old memories of your father and your mother, of your happy childhood. You start losing all that years of happiness you had before awakening. You lose control, and he continues eating and eating years and years of your life. It seems he's not going to stop.
Can I
At
fight
the
him
end,
back?
how are you going to fight him?
It's gonna be a willpower battle, basically. At some point, I'm just gonna start screaming enough, and I'm gonna try to expose
Compel.
him by breaking the circle.
Okay, roll arete again.
Okay.
You're going to compel the spirit with magic to stop.
Yeah, I'm gonna compel him away and break the circle so he is forced to leave.
Okay, yeah. Only one success. So
Yeah.
see, its spirit thing feels upset, feels irritated, infuriated for your interruption, and he drives back and says to you, "It was delicious, mortal."
Away with you! And I used as a point of willpower to fight him back.
and so the shadow fades away and disappears. How do you feel? How do you feel having lose so many memories of happy moments, of happy years of your life. You suddenly you don't remember the face of your father and mother and of your brother. You only remember awakening.
My
Baby.
first instinct is just crawl under the table and I hold myself by the knees and just start crying like a child because I feel absolute loss inside me. It's like it feels like somebody just told me that my parents died because I cannot remember them, so I just start crying hysterically.
And what do you think about this Iltian has said about these experiments of hybrids between human and alien that began in the Second World War?
Something about it makes me feel gross, like he's just talking to me about something that it's unnatural. It's like he has been talking like something very taboo, and it makes me feel like my skin crawls. Although those feelings are more for when I recover from the literal trauma of losing my own happy memories. But after that, it makes me just feel dirty that somebody doing that is just gross.
Okay, so this is the end of the night for your character, for Mirna. I think that she's not going to sleep well this night.
No.
And we're going to play one last scene before ending this game session. The next day, Lucas meeting Edith Kramer, his tourist leader of the Celestial Chorus in Germany, in Berlin.
Okay.
What do you do? How do you approach her? I think that she may be working in an NGO as you.
So before going to her place, I go to buy some like her favorite brand of tea.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just like buy some like like homemade tea leaves and put them in a bag, and I bring them to her place. And then I don't know. She lives. I'm picturing it that she lives in an old apartment, right?
Okay.
Something like that. And
Yeah.
and then yeah, I ring her up and say, Edith, are you home?
She opens the door and you look an old Jewish apartment with all these David Star crosses and candeliers in the wall. It's very austere, very minimalist.
Yeah, poor, right?
And she offers to you a seat and takes a place behind you, in front of you. Excuse me.
Okay. So as I see it, I hand her the tea leaves, just in case she wants to prepare tea, or if she doesn't find the strength in her to move around or do it, I'll do it myself.
Okay.
I've been to her place a couple times, so I assume I know my way around the kitchen.
She boils some water to prepare the tea, and after that, she places the cup in the table and puts the leaves of tea that you bring with you in the water, and they start expelling some uh, scent, some
Yeah, the flavor starts to
yeah.
suffuse into the water.
Yeah. So
Okay.
after some minutes, she says, uh, "What a pleasure to meet you, Lucas."
Yeah, it's been a while, Edith. Sorry that I couldn't visit earlier. Like I've been really busy, but that's just an excuse not to say hi to a friend. Sorry for that. However, I am afraid my visit is not one out of friendship, but one out of egotism, because I do have some need of you, especially like your knowledge. Um, a couple days ago, we and some colleagues and I, we came into possession of a certain item, and it was revealed that some awful experiments happened a couple of years ago during the Second World War. I do know that you were there, of course. So I was wondering if you had any idea of the nature of these experiments, or if you could tell me anything. I know how tough it must be for you, so if you don't feel ready for it, or if you need some time, I will fully understand. But I do believe that this is important because um, a friend may have died for this information. So I think we will be doing right by him by talking about this.
Well, she takes the cup of tea and starts drinking. You also
Yeah, I
take
grab with
take a
hands and
take some tea, and in the same moment, the tea goes down in your throat. You feel more warm, more comfortable. Maybe she's playing some kind of mind effect. You don't know, but you feel very relaxed. Uh, and she says, "Well, well, indeed, I was there in the Second World War, and I know about the experiments you are asking about. I was only a young child in that era. I was barely initiate of the celestial chorus, but I know that during the post-war, the Bebelsberg Tribunal captured and executed with Gilgul some Nazi criminals. Are you asking for that?
yeah. So, but why Gilgal? Because as I understand, that ritual is only done to mages who have committed like very serious crimes. I assume these crimes had to do with these experiments, but do you know the nature of these experiments, what they were trying to accomplish, or like?
No. I don't know. We know that they experimented with prisoners
Okay,
and with something called the Foltenbrunner Kabbalah, the
okay,
torture fountain.
yes,
They we think that they try to make a weapon,
okay, okay, that's
but
something.
we never discover how they use the power of the node in the child.
Mhm. There was one name, one of the survivors that may be residing in London. His name was Jason Nineman. Do you happen to know him or have any information related to him?
Yeah, he was a technocrat. Um, I was very afraid of technocracy back then. I think that he fight for freedom of the West, of all Europe, but most of technocrats were hunted after the war by the technocracy itself. They
Mhm.
were labeled as traitors. So I think that most probably he will be die. I don't know. Neiman was only. I think that he was a broken man. He he lost his family during the war. He was a follower of Doctor Mundial. In some way, they were very similar.
Okay. And I assume you also have no idea where to find Dr. Mondial, right?
Well, Doctor Mundial disappeared after the Second World War. Nobody found his corpse, his body. Nobody knows where he is or where he went. He just disappeared after the World War.
Okay. I don't know what else to ask her. Like she, this is me thinking to myself. I already asked her like what she knew. Like she told us about the Folder Rune Cabal, but we already knew that. She only told us that they're making a weapon. That's fine, but okay.
Okay. She thinks that after I don't know as a storyteller. I don't know
Yeah.
if you are taking conscience or you are understanding all of the information, because there is a lot of information. So after the Second World War, the Bebelsberg tribunal are in some way similar to the Nuremberg tribunals.
Yeah, the Nuremberg trials.
Trials. Judge Alois Richter, and he was sentenced for Kielgul. He was sentenced to be executed. You think that he's probably dead, but Mirna knows he's still alive because he has discovered with the spirit he survived. The criminal, the Nazi who made the experiments, but also aside the criminal, aside from Alois Richter, there was two important things. The Folterbrunner, the node that the Alois Richter was using for doing the experiments was put in the hands of the euthanatoid and was corrupted by Burmas. 5 years ago, Burmas was persecuted and
he was killed. I know that, but the node will still be there, right? The node will be at the concentration camp. So I know that, and I know that Alois Richter is alive, but Edith probably won't know that, right? Edith will probably think that he's already dead. So I don't know what kind of information I can get to her from that. Like maybe she was related to the Folterbrunn like node before it was corrupted, and I guess I can ask her about that. But
not really, because he was in Auschwitz, not in Dachau.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but they were next. Well, they were close to each other, right? Or no?
Yeah. They were in Poland. Other thing that you could handle is that the black papers, the Svarsenkunde. I don't know.
Okay, I may have missed that. Like, what were those black papers? I may have missed that.
Yeah, as I say, after the Second World War, they divide the crews, the information they had about the experiments. The traditions take custody of the node. But Technocracy was in possession of the Svarsenkunde. Edith says, as a character, it says they thought that if neither of them had all of the ingredients for replicating the experiments, they couldn't repeat the same crimes. So that's why the traditions take the node, and the Technocracy took the documents, the Svasskunde. So all information about what happened there, about the experiments, about the what Alois Richter was doing in Dachau, it's in these black papers, and it is in the hands of the Technocracy.
Okay.
That's what she says to you. Is the only thing she can add to your current information.
Information, okay. And she doesn't have any contact within the Technocracy that may be willing to share some of the information.
She doesn't have she doesn't have contacts in Technocracy.
I understand. Okay, then I thank her for her time, and for I'm sorry for really reliving these horrible past experiences. And
Well, before leaving, she asked to you, what are you trying to demonstrate with this investigation, with this research? Do you know that many of the cabals contacted by the Royal Council and being killed in the process?
I was not fully aware of the consequences, but so far, I think it's been fun. A friend was interested in this information, so I trust his gut. If he thought that it was important and he entrusted me to do so, I think I'm willing to go just a bit more forward. Also, so far, the only thing that I've done is ask a couple questions, and I don't think I'm in much danger yet. If that happens, then I may reconsider. But so far, I think I just want to find out what's happening. I think there's still time to go back if the need arises.
Okay.
So
she says goodbye, and you leave the house, I guess.
Yeah.
Next day, you rent a car and you begin your travel to London. Thanos drives the car, crossing Germany with the wind in her hair, and running towards the island, place where the last survivor of the Technocracy hides. While driving in this car, you are sharing. You are leaving behind your houses, your whole lives, and your looking for someone you still are not sure you know where is. How Thanos feels, how Thanos faces this quest, this travel for freedom in crossing half Europe from elderly survivor of the Second World War.
Yeah, first of all, Thanos is not German, so it is not worried about leave Germany. It doesn't matter to stay in Germany or to go to England for him. But anyway, he thinks that he's going to be when he has to be. And he is more concerned about practical things. I mean, for example, for having hidden the weapons that he is carrying.
Okay. Okay. He tries to hide the weapons to cross the frontier.
Exactly.
I guess that Jack is behind you or besides you with his raven, with still making some strange noises. Lucas is raving, maybe excited for touring England, where he has never been before. And Mirna, I think that Mirna may feels herself strange. How does he feels?
So
When,
basically, when she joins the rest of the cabal, she just doesn't talk to anyone. She has a flask in her oversized jacket. She just keeps drinking the flask, puts on massive sunglasses, sits in the back of the car, and doesn't talk to anyone. She just takes it inside her, looks like shit, but probably everybody has this perceives the aura of "do not talk to me. I'm not in the mood." And she just keeps it to herself for now. Uh, because not only because of the information but of the price she had to pay for the information, and she starts to wonder if it's going to be worth it because the price already has been quite high.
okay, with this last thoughts of Mirna, with Thanos driving to Britain, we left the session. I hope you enjoy it. As the players and the audience, future audiences. I hope you enjoy also this story, this chronicle. And next session, maybe in 2 weeks, I hope Jack he could play with a better connection this time. I say goodbye to all. Have a good night. Thank you for all, and I hope you enjoy. Ciao.
Okay, stay healthy.
Bye.
Bye.